Welcome back, everyone. What a race was that? Oh my goodness. You know, I was saying recently that McLaren might be favoring Lando Norris. McLaren was failing Oscar Piastri. But at this moment, they're failing both drivers. Both drivers. What the hell was that? That race was beyond bizarre. And ultimately, there's a lot of conclusions coming out. Lots of conclusions. But I go back to what I've said before. If there's an opportunity that the FIA or the sport of Formula One has the opportunity to screw Oscar, to screw Lando, and to make Max a champion, they will take that opportunity once again. And they're willing to break their own rules to take that opportunity. What we just saw was clear evidence that the problems at McLaren is far worse than we've ever speculated. This papaya rule crap, I mean, my goodness, there's an early safety car. You're trying to tell me all night the team wasn't talking about the various different incidents that could take place. What if we have a safety car around 5 laps, 10 laps, 15 laps? At what point do we pit? Seriously, you have to consider that. As the team not consider what happens if there is an early safety car? And let's say they did, and they went with the conclusion of keeping both drivers out, knowing damn well catching Max Verstappen is already going to be difficult. Passing Max Verstappen could damn near be impossible. At this point, we're not even sure if Antonelli just let Max by. But one point I did love, and I love this point. I loved it when Max engineer went onto the radio with Max and said, yeah, Antonelli just pulled over. Looked like he just pulled over and let Lando by. I could hear it in his voice. They wanted Antonelli to keep that position. And let's say Antonelli did make a mistake. The Red Bull guys, they're like, no, Antonelli did it on purpose. Well, to be quite frank, Antonelli could do whatever the fuck he wants to do. I mean, this is just all leading up. Something big could happen in Abu Dhabi. But at the same time, it could be a boring race. 2021 in Abu Dhabi was relatively boring until Latifi crashed out. I mean, the start of the race, Max was pushing Lewis off track. But apart from that, that race only went upside and down towards the end of the race. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, we got two teams on the grid that clearly don't know what they're doing. One being Ferrari, the other being McLaren. Oh my goodness. Even if Ferrari does build a good car, they're going to be fucking up. I mean, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is insane. This is insane. Even with the best car, they've managed to screw up this championship for both drivers. And ultimately, I think McLaren mostly cared about the constructors. But if they had to choose a driver to win the championship, they wanted Lando to do that. And I still think they favored Lando. What has happened in the last couple of races? Oscar has suddenly come back alive in the Qatar Grand Prix. What has happened there? I mean, we're coming away from 2 disqualifications for McLaren in Vegas. I mean, that was another problem as well. Disqualification, both cars. What the fuck is McLaren doing? It's almost as if we thought they wanted Lando to win the championship. We thought they were favoring Lando. Turns out McLaren has been favoring Max Verstappen all this time, getting their cars disqualified, making crappy decisions. I mean, I'm saying this in a joking way, but oh my goodness, this is clearly ridiculous. Even in Vegas, why take such a risk if you already have a significantly better car than everyone else? Wouldn't you rather finish maybe second, third, fourth, rather than taking a risk trying to win the race if you know you can't win, but you try to win by risking the drivers being disqualified? And they did get disqualified. Realize, if McLaren didn't F up in Vegas, Lando wouldn't be in this position. If McLaren didn't F up in Qatar with the pit stop, Lando would not be in this position. Now, Max Verstappen is 12 points. 12 points. Say what you will. Max has to win the race in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, but Lando can't afford a DNF. Lando can't afford a DNF. He can't afford to finish too far down. I think he has to finish on the podium, maybe top 4, something like that, depending on where Max is. My goodness. I mean, Lando still has the advantage. Lando still has the advantage, but bloody hell. Let's say another scenario. Let's put out another scenario. Because I've been hearing a lot of things, some that I agree with, some that I don't agree with. Some people saying McLaren didn't want to favor any driver. Okay, but not by favoring any driver, you end up favoring no driver. In that situation, if they told Oscar, and I'm talking about this race, I'm talking about Qatar, I'm talking about that pit stop when the safety car comes out. If they said, Oscar, we're going to pit you and pit Lando, or would you rather us not pit you and pit Lando instead? Oscar would have been like, might as well you pit us both. Okay, Oscar, if you don't want us to pit you and pit Lando, you do understand we're going to go ahead and pit Lando. It's either both of you get pit or one of you get pit. That way you don't disqualify any driver in that scenario. You understand what I'm saying? McLaren had the space behind them. They had the space behind them. Lando was already behind Max. So if anything, this is advantage Lando, or actually putting him more on equal grounds with Verstappen. Oscar already leading. Once again, advantage Oscar. When McLaren came on the radio and told Lando, yeah, Lando, we got more options. Verstappen on his team basically have less options now. I'm thinking, wait a minute. What do you mean they have less options? No, mate. You have less options. Because you have so much options, Max Verstappen race now is neutralized. It's more simple. All Max has to do now is pit one more time. You have to pit twice. I mean, it's common sense. It's common sense. So tell the driver, be an Oscar, tell Oscar, we're going to pit both of you. Oscar be like, I don't want to pit. Okay, we're going to pit Lando. What is Oscar gonna say then? No way, you can't do that. You can't pit Oscar. Mate, we're giving you a choice. You have 5 seconds to make up your decision. This should have been a discussion they had the night before. What if there's an early safety car? And we have the space behind us to pit. We have a free pit stop. It's not like we're going to be stuck behind a lot. Oscar wouldn't be stuck behind drivers. Let's say Max stayed out. Let's say Max did stay out. It's a safety car. It's not a virtual safety car. It's a real safety car. You are on fresh tires and you're behind Max Verstappen. You have the advantage. You have the options now. All you have to do now is pit one more time. Max probably has to pit twice. I'm fucking out of my mind. How does McLaren fuck up this much? I mean, I don't understand when the engineer came on the radio to Lando and told Lando, Max has less options now. We have all the cards. What the fuck you mean you have all the cards? It's a safety car. You lose the time you've gained in the last 7-8 laps. The race is once again neutralized. You don't have options. You lost the time you gain. Let's say you gain 15 to 20 seconds compared to the guys in 4th, 5th. It's a safety car. They've now neutralized. They've caught up to you again. You've lost all of that. You've lost your chips. If it's poker, you've lost your fucking chips. And because your hands are you're empty and you have to go into your pockets to take out more money to purchase more chips, you're like, well, we've got options. I'm sorry, what? What the fuck was... I'm lost. I'm honestly lost. I am honestly lost. It's math. It's mathematical. If this was a virtual safety car, I'd understand why McLaren wouldn't pit their drivers. But it's a real safety car. The cars will gather up once again and neutralize the race. You're getting a free pit stop so early in the race where you desperately need... If I was McLaren, team principal, or the CEO night before, and we're thinking, guys, you know what would really work in our favor right now? If we get a free safety car early in the race. But you know what would be even better? Once we pit, we're not stuck behind other drivers. That would be a golden opportunity. That's what Red Bull was discussing. And you mean to tell me that McLaren wasn't having this discussion? They're like, oh, that's the chances of that happening are so slim. Yeah, but it's slim nonetheless. It could happen. Oh my goodness. My mind is kind of at lost right now due to the decision making of this team. Like, honestly, my mind is actually at loss right now. You notice Oscar finished roughly 8 seconds behind Max Verstappen. This race is 57 laps. It's not a race, it's not a particularly long race. It's neither short nor long. You can't afford to lose that time in a free safety car pit stop. If the cars were closer, if the cars in fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, if they were closer, if Ferrari were in the game, Ferrari was out of the game. Russell was out of the game. Antonelli was there, Sainz was there. Cool. If you're gonna get stuck by a lot of drivers, I understand. But if you're not gonna get stuck by those drivers, oh my goodness. If I was McLaren before this race, I'd be dreaming for a safety car this early. When you have the time advantage to make a free pit stop, there's a chance Lando could have been stuck behind one driver, but that's only if that driver does not pit, and Lando once again would be on fresh tire. But still, Oscar would be ahead, or at least behind Max on fresh tires. It's win-win for this. This was a win-win for McLaren. This is not like Abu Dhabi 2021 when the race was so late when the safety car came out. For Lewis to make a pit stop, he'd be stuck behind Max, and it's unpredictable. At that point, the stewards could have ended the race with Lewis behind Max, ended the race on the safety car, championship over. And Lewis and Mercedes consider that. I understand Mercedes' option not to pit Lewis back in 2021 in Abu Dhabi. I understand. Because Red Bull would have went on the radio and argue, oh, we should just end the race right now. We're just following the rules. Let's just end the race right now beyond the safety car. But the moment it's the other way around, they're screaming, no, we need to get the race going. We need to get the race going. Max has fresh tires. We need to get the race going. Whatever will benefit Red Bull, that's what they're arguing. Holy shit. Holy shit. I don't understand. I want an explanation from McLaren as to how did they think that would have benefited them. You know, here's another scenario. Right? There's a 7 laps difference between... Another problem is there was mandatory stops. I don't know what has happened in this race, but there are mandatory stops. I don't know why. I haven't read up about this, but while I was watching the race, the commentators kept on mentioning these cars have to stop at this time. They have to, and Max has to stop at that time. Max have to stop at lap 32. The McLarens have to stop before lap 24, lap 25 or something like that. And I'm like, when did this happen? Have I missed something this entire season? Is this just this race? McLaren with those tires, they didn't pit their drivers. Okay, you stay on those tires. Why couldn't McLaren continue? Why did they have to pit so early? You understand what I'm saying? So what happened with this mandatory pit stop? This is immediately what I get. Why do drivers have to make 2 pit stops in Qatar? I did not know about this. I might have heard about it, but I probably didn't take it serious. The mandatory 2-stop has been imposed after tire supplier Pirelli held talks with teams and governing body FIA regarding driver safety. Tires have been restricted to a maximum length of 25 laps after Lusail International Circuit. What the hell? I might have heard about this, but I just didn't read into it much. Ultimately, this is another thing that cost McLaren. If they knew this coming into the race, being on fresher tires after 7 laps means that mandatory, oh my goodness, there's 57 laps in the race. McLaren has to make 2 pit stops. Oh my goodness. What was McLaren thinking? Watching the race, I did not know this at the time. I heard it with the broadcasters. And I was like, what do they mean there's mandatory? And the broadcasters were doing a very shit job at explaining it. They usually explain things very well, you know, because they know new people are watching, people who are not keeping up with F1. I wasn't keeping up with the rule change. They did not explain this. McLaren coming into the race. How could you not have done the math? Oh, this is even more stupidity from McLaren. Honestly, this is even more this gives you even more reason to beg for a safety car. So this race was just perfect. On lap 7, there was a safety car. Meaning Max could go on a tire, 25 laps, go on another tire, 25 laps. Perfect. If this was lap 5 safety car, lap 6 safety car, Different decision from Red Bull. Holy shit. And that's another thing. Why was it mandatory? They're saying driver safety. Okay, but you can have punctures in other scenarios. I've never heard of a rule like this being introduced for driver safety. This sounds a little bit odd to me. I don't want to read into it too much. I don't want to go too conspiratorial on this, but it sounds just like you just introduced this rule. Is that, usually Pirelli doesn't like to like, usually this doesn't happen in Formula One, but out of a sudden, Max Verstappen needs to win a championship and it's like mandatory pit stops. Safety car, lap 7, perfection. So McLaren should have been begging for a safety car in lap 7. They should have had this discussion. As I said, they should have had this discussion the night before. And the fact that there was a safety car on lap 7, how could they not use their fucking brains to say, oh, this is perfect? And don't tell me that they passed the pit lane. They didn't pass the pit lane when that safety car was announced. They just kept on driving. At this point, the new rules for Qatar and the 25 laps mandatory seems conspiratory to me. The fact that McLaren is being this stupid in Vegas in this race seems obvious to me as well. But for me to say what I want to say, I would sound just crazy. It's one thing for McLaren to be favoring Lando, but it's a whole nother conspiracy to suggest that the rule change from Pirelli and FIA and F1 has something to do with possibly making it more difficult for McLaren, making it more strategical for Red Bull to play into the championship. It's a whole nother thing to say McLaren is fucking up because they have alternative motives. Is that possible? Is that possible? Is it possible for McLaren to be favoring another driver that is not even in their team? I sound crazy saying that, but it's the only conclusion I can go for when it is so obvious that you need to pit on lap 7 to optimize the race, especially if it gets neutralized, especially if the race is neutralized. It's not a virtual safety car. This is like if there was a red flag and McLaren didn't change tires. If there was a red flag, McLaren would have changed tires, right? This is what happened in the race, but the car stayed on track and McLaren did not change tires. Holy shit. Holy shit. All right, bro. I'm going to end this video here, but the conspiracies are getting out of hand. That's one. But also, it's like I said before, if the FIA, if Formula One gets another opportunity to make Max Verstappen a 5-time world champion, they will take it. Oh my goodness. If there's an opportunity for Max to take this championship in Abu Dhabi, they're gonna favor Max. They're gonna rig the game. They're gonna manipulate this championship again. It's probably already being manipulated. After 2021, seeing them break the rules in front of everyone's eyes, who can tell me that they're not breaking the rules when we're not seeing the meetings, the private meetings with Pirelli, the private meetings with the FIA and Formula One, the private meetings with McLaren? Who's going to tell me that, nah, they broke the rules in front of over 100 million people watching live in Abu Dhabi 2021, but they won't break the rules behind closed doors, closed conversations, MDNAs being signed? Holy shit. At this point, I'm going to try to live stream my reaction to the next race in Abu Dhabi, the final race, because this shit is going to be wild. If they steal the champion, if they rob the championship again, it's going to be wild. I don't think they will, but they keep on surprising me. This is playing out a little bit too convenient for me. Seriously, it's playing out way too convenient. It's playing into the hands of Red Bull, Max Verstappen, way too convenient for me, and it's far too obvious not to draw to these conclusions. What other conclusions can we draw to? What McLaren did in Vegas, they didn't need to do. They didn't need to load the cars that much. They weren't desperate. What they did in this race was clear blatancy of what the fuck was that? What kind of explanation can they give us now that would justify their behavior and poor management in this race in Qatar? Seriously. Seriously, think about how far this sport has fallen. How far McLaren has fallen. No way. No way. This is way too coincidental for me to believe in coincidence. This is all no coincidence. But listen, we're going to end the video there. I've said enough. I'm going to see you next Sunday, and we might live stream the race, because I want to I want you to see my live reaction. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Listen, remember to subscribe, leave a like and leave a comment. Check out the Patreon. You know, if you want more videos, trying to produce more videos, but if you want to support us, big way to support us is via Patreon, our memberships. It's no exclusive content, more content for everyone on the YouTube channel. That's it. It's more content for everyone on the YouTube channel. No exclusive content. Not yet. Maybe next year if we get the opportunity. But if you want more videos, thank you all for watching. Subscribe, leave a like, share these videos with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.